for allowing us to wake this morning to start our day new and fresh. And let us give thanks to Jesus for his love. And we ask Jesus to continue pouring his love and guidance on all of us and protecting us throughout our lessons this morning. And we ask that allowing us to wake this morning to start each and every soul is in harmony with the lesson for this morning. And with that, we ask for the blessings of Jesus as we open our service this morning. So be it.
Thank you, Gina. I was putting us online, live. All right, guys. So yes, today we have a lot of good news. Let me just go back to my page here. All right. So we finally have all the classes for you, and we have classes and announcements with news. So all good things in here. First of all, I will start with the classes. And all the classes will start in March. So March 2nd is when all of this will start. I will post everything on the chat so then you don't have to get lost with so many links. All right. So on Tuesday, we will have inner transformation class. And I just wanted to remind us something that Emmanuel said on the book Thought and Life. Evolution demands that we develop new habits, that we detach ourselves from lower forms and walk towards higher stages of existence. But how easy it is for us to detach from our old habits, right? So it is difficult, but BSH wants to be with you in this journey of inner transformation. And in collaboration with Divine Light, we will have our dearest Sunshine Deck giving these classes every first and third Tuesdays of the month. For those who goes to Divine Light, you will see that Divine Light will start having meetings on Tuesdays instead of Wednesdays from March on. So first and third Tuesdays of the month, 6:30 from 8 p.m. We will have inner transformation class with Divine Light through Sunshine. I will post the link. On Thursday, we will keep the Spiritist book study group. We are already on chapter 5 from the second book. It's super enlightening conversation. We all discuss, we all bring our point of view, so everybody's welcome to join us. It is with our sister Duska, and it's from 6:30 to 7:30 Pacific time. I will also post here the link for you to join us. However, it's going to be BSH link. It's always the same. Other good news is we will have music classes. We know that music is a beautiful expression of life. It's an expression of the beauty, and we know that God is all beauty. So we are going to be enlightened by our friend Mark Carlos, and he will be helping us in this journey of music. I don't know exactly if he will be using one specific instrument or if he will take us through a lot of things, or if it's going to be sound, voice. I don't know exactly what is this going to be, but we know that he will bring a little bit more of art through music into our lives every Friday from 6:30 to 7:30. He's been doing this for years, specifically with the youth. So I'm pretty sure that it's going to be very dynamic and very interesting. So everybody's welcome to join. You don't have to have a previous experience for you to join this class. On Saturday, we are going to have our dearest Robbie giving us introduction to Spiritism from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And again, we know that even though we have all been studying Spiritism for a while, most of us here, we know that every time that we study, something different pops up into our mind. And let us also remember that whenever we participate, it's not only for us to receive knowledge, but it's also for us to share. So everybody's welcome to join us, even if you are an advanced student, for you also to share your point of view on Spiritism. So Robbie, every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And on Sunday, we will have Brian Abiel giving Spiritism for the youth. So if you have that niece or that nephew grandson, granddaughter that you believe that would enjoy having some entertainment during Sundays, 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. right before the service. Everybody's welcome to join. Again, it's going to be specific for the youth, so with a different language, with a different approach, but also bringing Jesus Christ's beatitudes, and also how we can keep our spiritual awakening. So everybody's welcome to join us. Please share the news with your friends, with your family. We know that there is always someone that is going to benefit from it. So please feel free to copy and paste whatever you feel like it's going to be useful for someone, and feel free to share. Website's going to be updated between today and the beginning of next week. So if you have any doubts on who you should, like which link you should be going to, or what class, what time, go to our website, bshcenter.org, and you will find all this information in there. Right? Question on classes? No questions?
All right. I have a question.
Yeah.
These classes, do you guys post the links somewhere?
Yeah, so I will post the link here on the chat, and we will have the website updated with all the links. So we will do both.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Nora.
Kiki?
All right. Yes.
One question. What age is the youth? Like, which age they should start the classes? Do you have an idea? I don't know if Tom's too young. He's 3.5 now, and I know he's young, but
2.5.
3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
I don't know, Gina. What do you think?
You know that at that age, it's more like stories, because my nieces just made 6, and so I read a lot of stories to her, and I don't make it too complicated. Not at that age.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So maybe you can try and see how it goes. If he will be interested, if he will follow the class. And I'm pretty sure that we have like friends from, like Nora, for instance. She's a teacher also for children. She can help us shape it a little bit for younger if necessary.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So services. We have now fraternal counseling every Wednesday. This is something that our dearest Regina and Sonia used to do when we had our center physically, but now we are also extending this service for our virtual friends. We know that, I mean, this is, unless you are talking to Sonia, this is not going to be professional. You will be talking with any of the mediums that have open heart to hear, to talk, to share. And it is a safe place. It is an individual service. So you will be making an appointment from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., whatever slot works for you. And you will just send an email for us, or you can text me or Regina. I will post our numbers here, and you can say, Chris, I would like to have 30 minutes, 1 hour, whatever, this Wednesday, and someone will be assigned to talk to you. And then again, this is a safe moment for you just to, I don't know, share, vent something, to discuss, to talk, even to pray together. Sometimes we know that we're having kind of a difficult moment, and if you want someone just to pray with you, this is going to be a moment for you to do that. So feel free to join us. Again, every Wednesday, we will have all the mediums group available to talk to you. So it's 10 people. I'm pretty sure that it will be someone always available to talk to you. It will be individual, I mentioned that, right? It will be individual links, so everybody's welcome to join us. And I think that's it. I'm finished with the announcements. I said it was a lot. It's very exciting for all of us. We know that everybody was waiting for the news, for the classes. So again, please feel free to share with your friends this beautiful news that we have on BSH. And today we're going to have our dearest friend, Adriana. She's particularly a friend of mine. I mean, everybody is, of course, but I mean, we are super close, and I'm so proud of having this friendship with her. She inspires in so many different ways, and I think that it starts with her smile, with her energy. Just by being there, she's a sun. She's a sun that goes everywhere. And yes, you are right. She's a sun, and I'm pretty sure that everybody already knows her, but if you don't, you will see what I'm talking about in just 1 minute. So Adriana has been an active member of Brazilian Spiritual Healing Center since 2013. And she has been studying spirituality since 2003, so it's been a long time, with courses in spiritism, spiritualism, and the teachings of Oram Mikhail Avanov. I always say his name wrong. And the Universal Brotherhood. Adriana is an active member of the Bezerra Spiritual Healing Center, and in her free time, she volunteers as mentor for international students and young professionals. She's also mother of our baby Ian, that is always here participating with us. And today she will talk to us about loving one's neighbor as oneself. So Adriana, thank you so much for your time. And guys, everybody, please help me to welcome her to the stage.
Yay! Thank you so much for the introduction. Now I must live it up to all the words that you shared about me. I'm the sun. I shall be the sun. Bring the light wherever I go, whatever I do. Just an easy task. Imagine that. Well, thank you, my friends. Good morning to everybody. Beautiful sunny Sunday. I'm here to have a good chat with you guys about something very important, very easy, theoretically speaking, about loving yourself, loving your neighbor, loving who you are, loving where you are. And it's a good reminder for everybody, right? I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. There you go. Can you see? Can you hear me? We are good?
Yes, all good.
All right. So let me adjust my screen so we can all talk about Gospel According to Spiritism, talking about chapter 11, loving one's neighbor as oneself. So interestingly enough, when I was studying the chapter, I thought to myself, that's a good one. That sounds like an easy one. Loving, all we need is love. Love is the cure. Love is the essence of the connection that we make with our higher self, with God, with the universe and the planets. And it seems to be an easy mission to accomplish. But as I start reading the book, we are going to be studying about the greatest commandment: render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. There are more spiritual or spiritist teachings into this chapter that is about the law of love, one of my favorite laws to be discussed. Selfishness, and what does that mean in the world and how to practice being selfless. Faith and charity, what is the connection between these two beautiful and powerful manifestations. Charity towards criminals. Should one risk one's own life for a criminal? So it's bringing a lot of pieces for us to really think about, to revisit, and to kind of check in on how we are doing with our spiritual evolution and inner transformation. So with that said, I would like to invite you to open your heart, open your mind, and allow these beautiful words that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today to really ponder, to really revisit those concepts, and most importantly, to feel in what level are we living these principles that our Master Jesus shared with us. Most importantly, taught us by living them. So where are you? Where are we in the scale of evolution as far as putting to practice the beautiful teachings that our Master Jesus taught us? All right. So moving on here, I want to share with you that when we talk about the greatest commandment that the chapter brings into light, it says, loving one's neighbor as oneself. And in the commandment, it's actually divided in two parts. So let's examine those two parts. They are extremely important. The first one is, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. So let's think about the heart, the soul, and your mind. To me, the loving your God, your Lord, with everything you have, with every piece of your being. And that is to me the full surrender, when you really allow your being to be connected with the universe, with the energy, with the creator. And it's such a surrender that is complete, is with your heart, with that the feeling, the sentiment of faith and trust into the creator, with your soul, which is the key key piece of you that is already connected with your creator, God, Jesus, and with your mind, meaning the mind is already knows that you are in complete connection with the creator. So this is, to me, it's a very beautiful yet challenging ways to live the commandment, the loving your Lord, your God. Because, as you all know, sometimes the mind plays trick on us. You may have a conflict between your mind and your heart. And then your soul is also kind of telling you through your intuition, this is the way to go, this is the way to live. So it is that complete and total surrender to the being that you came here to be. That's one part of the commandment that we are thinking about how we can improve and live it well. The second one is, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. So let's think about it. The first step here, né? Shall love the Lord and shall love your neighbor as yourself. In order to love my neighbor, I need to love myself. Simple enough. However, my friends, I don't know about you, but to me, this is a beautiful challenge and an opportunity to really understand what is to love myself. So, in that journey of understanding and living this beautiful principle, I had to ask myself, how can I love myself? Right? Well, one way is to understand who I am, right? That's the beautiful piece of the inner transformation, right? You cannot improve something that you don't know what it is. Yeah? So the first step is to really look into you as a being of light, as work in progress, and to be able to appreciate who you are as you are, and open up for the opportunity to evolve. In doing this exercise, I started really having to write it down, things that I was grateful for about my being, right? So I started a list, because believe me or not, just by thinking about it, I wasn't able to connect and to fully appreciate, how much I have grown or how much I have changed, I have evolved. As Kiki said, I started this process really being able and conscious and aware of my need to evolve in 2003 through pain. And now we are in 2021. If I look back on my journey and say, wow, yes, there have been beautiful lessons and improvement, but can I appreciate it? right? So this beautiful exercise, which I invite you to do whenever you have a minute. I like writing. It really helps me to kind of put it down in a piece of paper. I'm very visual. So it's just kind of listing the lessons that I have learned, yet not mastered, but work in progress, right? But the things that I now am able to appreciate about myself. So again, is the ability to recognize who you are, to appreciate who you are, and have the grace. I'm going to say this word again, grace, to look into yourself, say, wow, yes, I am work in progress. I'm a daughter of God, and I'm still learning. And while I am still facing challenges in many aspects of my lower level emotions, I am in the path of love and light. I want to work. I'm committed on working on myself to be able to love myself and love others, right? You cannot love anybody if you don't start with yourself. So this piece in itself is huge, right? The second part of this commandment is inviting us to really look into yourself and love yourself for what you are, knowing that you can always do more through, right? Through the teachings to the education piece. We have so many beautiful opportunities that Kiki just announced with the different ways to be in touch with ourselves, whether it's through counseling sessions, whether it's through the classes that you are taking. We are all committed. We are in this for the long run, right? For the eternity. So might as well enjoy the moment that we are having together. And then how else can we express or feel how much we are loving yourself? You know, for me, it was to be able to start with the physical body, né? Because it's here, it's tangible, right? Looking at myself, say, my goodness, thank you for a perfect body, health, you know, especially now with everything going on in the world, being healthy is, you cannot take that for granted, you know, and think the cells of my body that is always every day dying and being reborn, so I can keep growing, expanding, and healing. For my mind, for the brain. So there is the appreciation for the physical body as part of loving yourself, the appreciation for your soul and how much you are evolving as a being of light, being aware, knowing how to differentiate when something feels good, feels right, versus when it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel right. So you know that you can take a step back and say, oops, that's not the way I want to go. That's not how I want to proceed with my moral and ethical conduct. So there's a lot to be grateful for and appreciate. That's part of really loving yourself. I understand the physiology of the body. You know, when you are in your bubble and out of blue, your mind starts getting really speeding up and reminding you of the to-do list and the things that you have to do. You are not in appreciation state. You are in that the judgmental, right? You have to do this, you have to do better, you have, you know, you have all those memories, né? Because your mind is a computer reminding you the things that you must do, etc. So I've learned through the physiology of the body that if I am able to wait a minute, where is this going? Where is this thought that this mind is taking me to? Which is a pattern, right? It's a habit. Kiki was saying to start a new habits, right? Studying or doing things. This is also a good exercise where if you can take a step back and say, wait a minute, this is becoming really loud. The voices are really real and really loud. What can I do in that moment to really express love for myself? One option, one way that I have found out is playing a piece of music. Like I like Zumba, I like dancing. I know that that song, even if it's for half a minute, will take me somewhere else, will distract my mind from continue on that path, on that destructive or judgmental thought, and bringing me back to, wait a minute, I need to create that, the feelings, the emotions of being happy, being grateful, and move myself, and taking me away from that bubble into, oh, was just a moment of cloudness. I need clarity, right? So not escaping from it per se, but bringing, adding into that moment, the appreciation. That's part of loving yourself. So through the physiology of your body, kind of like removing yourself from that, the cloud, that the dark thoughts, because we don't want to make that connection, right, with the thoughts that are all over and around us. So that's one way to love yourself, to honor your feelings, and really allow the intuition to kick in. And most important, to listen the voice of the intuition, right? We listen to so many things throughout your day. So why not listen to yourself, which is the direct communication with your higher self. So that's a part of loving yourself, appreciating yourself. And remember, you can always give yourself a hug. Sometimes we perhaps wait from other people, your employer, your colleagues, or family members. Why not to give yourself that hug? Let's practice. Gonna practice with me? All right. Let's give yourself a hug. Say, hey, you're doing fantastic. You're here. No? You asked to be here during this planetary transition, which is being very challenging to everybody, but we are here. We are winners already. So why not express that love, touching your heart, saying, thank you, God, for giving me the opportunity to be here and to express this love. It doesn't take much. So let's take that moment to really, really, really honor who you are. And that way, establish that beautiful relationship of loving yourself. With that piece, ongoing exercise, it's a daily exercise. Sometimes we forget, it's normal. But, with that habit of really appreciating who you are, then guess what? It's going to be really easier to love your neighbor. Eh? Who is my neighbor? Mr. George here is my neighbor. I love my neighbor, especially because he has a pool. I'm kidding. No, it does help that he has a pool. But seriously, who is my neighbor? I had to ask yourself this question. My neighbor is everybody. My neighbor is that person that I may not really like it. My neighbor is that boss that challenges me. My neighbor is my neighbor's dog that barks a lot. This is all your neighbor. Your neighbor is the humanity. Your neighbor is your planet. Yes, it's everything and everybody, any and all God's creation. So here's the challenge, right? Love yourself, love your neighbor, knowing that neighbor, it could be everybody, especially those who challenge us. Extra love, more love. Why? Because those are the people that came to help us to evolve, to teach us. Now, am I saying it's easy? No, I'm not saying that. It's doable? Yes. So how about changing the perspective, right? I remember Kiki and I had this conversation before. I was having a really hard time dealing with some coworkers of mine, to the point that I was like, why is this happening? I'm not able to do my work because I am so angry. I see so much injustice, in that relationship. And then she said, hey, remember, drink some water, because physiology of the body changing, right? The pattern, drink some water, deep breath, and then readdress, reassess, reorganize yourself to be able to deal with that. And that's a good trick. Again, It's challenging because you are in the heat of the moment. But if I can practice, if I can train myself, which I know I can, right? Change the physiology of my body to start creating more beautiful emotions, which will translate into my body into a more peaceful state. Therefore, I can change the way I am going to deal with the situation. So nothing is by chance. Everything has been designed. We have agreed on the contract that we signed before we came. So there is a purpose for all those people that push our buttons, that challenge us to be better. And guess what? Grateful for them, because those are the people that are helping us to move forward into our spiritual evolution. So if nothing else, gratitude should be the feeling, to feel toward those people that challenge us, our neighbors. So again, it sounds very simple, yet it's so deep and complex. The first amendment, commandment, to love yourself and love your neighbor as well. So that's the beautiful reminder today for me and for each of us here. All right, so what else is in there? Let me show you guys the other peaceful and beautiful principles that he brings to us, that is all connected in a way to bring us the awareness of how can we live a life that is just, that is fair to everybody. So we probably all know the story where Jesus was asked about paying taxes, right? And he knew better than anybody else there was a very tricky question that could start a fight. It could start some animosity amongst the people that were in that area where they were collecting the taxes, right? So he says, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Meaning, what does that mean in our life today? How can we apply, right? Thinking about, the injustice that we see on TV, or the things that are happening in our lives through your work or in your family. So to me, the idea of rendering to Caesar what Caesar is, what is fair shall be done, right? Without questioning whether what that person is doing is right or wrong. Who am I to judge? I will comply with the laws, né? Not only the man-made laws, but most important with the God-made law. So with this said, to me, it was, being able to take a step back and say, I'm not here to judge. At least I don't want to go on that path, because when you start judging other people, right, you're pointing at them and you're also pointing at yourself. So I'm no better, I'm no worse. And most important, I will stay in my lane, respecting what is just, because God is seeing, right? That's the divine justice that we are connected with. So I will do what's right, even though if somebody else is not my problem, right? I will do what's right for me, what it feels right to me, and what I know it's connected with Jesus' teachings, without having to judge my neighbor. So, for example, using masks, right, in public places, or maintaining social distance, right? Everybody has an opinion about it. And we know what the law says, right? Wear your mask in public places. Every place or business, they have their own laws, right, that they are applying. And some people follow, some people don't follow. So at first, there is that resistance on following what the procedures, the protocols are. But there is a system, and it is what it is. We're not here to change it, right? But to obey the laws, the man-made laws. And we also know that there is a reason why we have to now refrain from doing some things that's a temporary situation. So without judging those people that are not following the protocol, or they are having carnival in Brazil, I got a lot of photos of friends. They're having a big party. Okay, whatever your conscience says that is right, then you should follow it. Who am I to judge those people? I guess I wanted to be with them as well and have some party and enjoy. But the point being is no judgment. You do what you feel is right for you and allow those people go through their own process, right? So what's right is right, what it is, and we just coexist with those situations because there's always a teaching, and I don't want to prevent other people from learning from their own mistakes, which are opportunities to learn in disguise. So the moral of the story here to me is what it is. You do your part and let it go, right? It's about justice. It's about being fair to yourself, to your feelings, to honor what you feel that is right without judgment. So I think that's a good way to live life if we can put these principles into practice. And that's why we are here for, right? To learn. Now, oh my goodness, I love this law, the law of love. Of all the laws I've studied in my life, this one, it's my favorite because all we need is love, right? Peace and love. Again, so simple. What is the law of love? Love is the divine essence that we all carry. It can be more simpler than this. Love is the divine essence that we all carry within us. Wow, how profound is this? Yet, how challenging it is to put it into practice. Again, challenges that allow us to evolve. Through these challenges, that's how we are going to evolve, to enhance, to improve the being that we are. But let's talk about the law of love. Oh, that's so exciting. The law of love summarizes our Master Jesus' doctrine. That's all he wanted to teach us, that love is the cure, that love is the essence, that love is the way to God, right? To your own connection with your divine being. So in the beginning, as he's saying here, at their origin, in the beginning, humans have own instincts. So the instinct to hunt, to fish, to survive. Those are those animal instincts, we could say. And then as we are evolving, advancing, right, we start having sensations, that feeling, the sensation of the body, which is a more like an evolved animal instinct in response to your environment. And as we are evolving, more educated and purified, that's the word here, purified, you have sentiments. The sentiments are the deeper emotions, the deeper feelings that we have with us that help us to survive, to live life, to bring into existence the dreams and the beautiful experience that we want to manifest. So we start with the instincts, pure animal instincts, and we evolve to sensations that we start feeling in our bodies and our mind. And then finally, we get to the point where we are more purified, more evolved, more educated, and we can have the feelings, the sentiments that are so pure and is the pure divine essence of God in us. How beautiful is this? How deep is this? Talking about the law of love. Now, as we go through incarnations multiple times, many lives, forever into the eternity, that's when we are hopefully purifying ourselves to be able to really feel the love, the sentiment, the unique and glorious sentiment from God. And that's why I appreciate the ability to be here on earth, to be incarnated, and perhaps at the stage of my evolution feel a percentage of that love. That's you cannot quantify, but you can feel. And that's why we have feelings, right? To be able to live through the law of love and feeling the teachings of our dear Master Jesus. Oh, love, love. Did you guys celebrate Valentine's Day? Speaking of love, you know, it actually should be called Love Day, not Valentine's Day per se. Né? It's the day to celebrate all kinds of love. Love for yourself, love for your partner, for your family, for your neighbor. Remember, neighbor is everybody, everyone, planet, your neighbor, next door neighbor, your coworkers, and everyone is in your life. Speaking of loving yourself, sometimes people think that, you know, when you love yourself, you're all about the self, you're selfish. But let's talk a little bit about it and really understand that being self-centered is also a way to express love to yourself. Meaning, if you look at the word selfishness, if you take the first part of the word self, it's about the self, you looking into yourself, right? The main person, the main being here. It's not so much as to, oh, we are only thinking about ourselves, therefore you're not thinking about others. No, the piece here is to start with the self. That's why we have self-care, self-love. Because if you can't appreciate who you are and take good care of yourself, how can you possibly take care of others, right? As a mom, I've come to learn, I'm still learning, that if I cannot take good care of myself, if I cannot sleep, if I cannot eat, how can I be a good mom to Ian, right? It always starts with the self. I'm not saying it is an easy thing to practice because life gets very busy and it's easy to kind of immerse yourself into your partner's life, your son, or whoever it is, you know, that you are dealing with. It's very easy to kind of lose your identity to some extent, you know, because you're giving, and it's love, love, love. And it's also important to be able to appreciate the that relationship with yourself. That's the most important relationship, in fact, that we have, is the relationship with the self. So in this chapter here, he's talking about the selfishness and how can I help others and give and assist and love, but also not forgetting who I am, right? So it says here, selfishness is the target at which all true believers must aim their weapons, their strength and their courage. Well, it takes courage, right? To be able to stick for yourself and your feelings and your needs, but also be able to share the love, help others without forgetting the main source, which is you. So in my opinion, in my experience, being able to be there for others, which could be as simple as a smile, a hug, your time, a prayer, right? Those are simple, but yet so meaningful gestures of love and selfishness, because now you are removing yourself from the equation and really looking at those people and being able to say, well, you know what, I will dedicate, like us, we are dedicating our time to learn, to educate ourselves, but also to be able to help others, you know, because as you give and you receive, right? It's beautiful relationship. And that's the beautiful thing about selfishness, right? It's to be able to collaborate, to be able to give and receive in this beautiful cycle that really benefits the giver and the receiver, because we always change places as life goes on. One day you are up, one day you are down. So it's kind of like this beautiful relationship that's always evolving. So a good reminder that be careful with the, you know, someone says you're selfish. No, really, am I being self-centered or self-conscious about my needs? So then I can be a better person to also give to others. So to me, that's a good reminder as well. It doesn't have to be black or white. There's always the gray area where we can find balance and equilibrium to be able to always give, but also taking good care of ourselves. What else is in there? This one was very tricky for me, you guys, because I used to work for the district attorney's office in Bend, Oregon. And in that office, we prosecuted criminals, right? And it's really interesting to think about in the past how biased I was, because I worked for the DA's office, and every time I would receive a report, in my subconscious mind, I would read the report already judging, already made up my mind that that person was guilty. Yeah, because that's where my office, that was the work that we did to prosecute. So I had a prejudgment in the back of my mind. But remember, justice, there is the man made the laws, but there's also the God who made the laws. So where am I? Can I look at this report and kind of see both sides, different perspective? That was the challenge, and I came to understand that I needed to change my point of view, let the prosecutors do their job and also be able to kind of examine the same story in different perspective without the judgment. Because who am I, right? Who am I to say that person, or to say that I wouldn't do what that person did, self-defense or whatever the crime might be. So in this piece, it's asking our attention to charity towards criminals. How can you be charitable? How can you feel or share the good feelings with those who commit crimes, right? And then if you commit crimes against other people, that's one thing. But what if a crime is committed against someone that you love, a family member? So see how it changes, right? Your perspective changes because now you are emotionally involved in that situation. How can you feel pity or charitable towards those? That's the piece that is challenging for us and for me specifically. So, but here's the beautiful answer, or a way to look at this situation in a better way. It says, God allows great criminals to dwell amongst you to serve as a lesson. When humans have been led to the true laws of God, such lessons will no longer be needed. Oh, so we are going through a planetary transition. We still see and live and witness so many bad things that you cannot even believe this still happen. But there is a reason, right? Nothing's by chance. We already know that there is a purpose. And the purpose of really living with this challenge nowadays is because we need the lessons. And those people, to be honest, are here as an instrument of God to teach us the lessons, not only to teach, but also to learn. So there is that duality, again, and the conflict information, if you think about it, but there is a purpose. And again, the challenge is to be able to look at criminals in this specific example as God's creation, as any of us we are, but to be able to appreciate it, that's a challenging, But what if you are the mom of a criminal? Your feelings would be different as if you were the victim, right? I remember in Brazil, and I'm sure here in the United States, they have situations like this. There was a mother whose son was murdered by this criminal, and she was devastated, obviously, and she wanted to forgive him. And she started a process of forgiveness that it took a while, but she wanted to forgive him because she was the one carrying the anger all those feelings, revenge, right? Carrying with her to her, throughout the years. So what she did was, it was a drunken driving situation. She started an organization where moms that had their kids or their children be murdered, regardless the circumstance, they all got together and they created this organization where they would bring awareness to the population when drinking, don't drive, and uh, to be able to bring awareness and to work on the pain of losing their children, but putting that energy, focusing or channeling that energy into good. Now, it sounds to me wonderful. I don't know if I would be able to do it, but boy, that brought so much peace into those mothers' hearts, because now they were able to switch, not to condemn or to punish, even though that person took the most precious jewel that they had, their children. They were able to channel that energy into something really good. And see, there is hope, there is a reason, there is a lesson. Not an easy one, but there's always a lesson to be learned. So I thought that was very beautiful that they were able to switch, not immediately, but there was a process of really learning and forgiving and being charitable towards criminals. So finally, when we're talking about being charitable towards criminals, they bring to us the connection between faith and charity. Why are they connected? And what is this link between those two beautiful principles? And just for you to understand, that it says charity that's practiced only through self-denial, through a continuous sacrifice of all selfish interest, can occur only if there is faith to inspire it. So, what a beautiful piece where you are faithful to your feelings, to your principles, and allowing charity come and really open the doors for you to live a better life within yourself, within your mind, within your family, your community, the people that you work with, the people that you live with. So this beautiful relationship between faith and charity, to me, was the piece that was missing to be able to progress and live life to its fullest. And it says, earthly life is also a way of perfecting yourselves by practicing charity, for it's only through mutual concessions and sacrifice that you can maintain harmony among such diverse elements, like the diversity of tastes, needs, tendencies, which is the acceptance of each other as they are. Wow, another piece, acceptance of others as they are. That's a form of love. Just to be able to understand that people are, what they can be. Now, that's not the end result of their work. They're still work in progress, like all of us are. But to be able to accept as they are, it's a beautiful piece as well that will allow you to love, to comprehend, to look at them with the eyes of love and acceptance and charity and faith. Okay, let's wrap up with a summary. So before we finish, I want to make sure that you guys we are on the same page, just to make sure that we know the message has been delivered. So what is charity according to our study today? Charity is the lack of selfishness, pride, and vanity. It's that complete and total surrender to love, to light, and acceptance to those who are what they can be. Yeah? We need to work towards selfishness, which is aiming the interest not towards oneself, but towards mutual interest. So it's to work with others. That's how we get the opportunity to practice selfishness, right? You need someone, otherwise your life is what it is, very convenient to you. So those people are key pieces for us to practice those beautiful lessons we are willing to learn and progress and evolve. Charity is impossible without faith, faith in yourself, faith in your creator, right? And faith that your brother, your sister, your neighbor can also and will evolve at their speed, at their time, at their the right moment. And faith is what inspires us to have courage and perseverance. Yes, we need to be brave and courageous nowadays more than ever, especially throughout this transition, planetary transition. And to finalize here, it says, you shall triumph if charity inspires you and faith upholds you. Wow, you are inspired, you have faith, you have God supporting you, loving you, and being with you. All we need is love. And with that said, my friends, I want to remind you that it is a wonderful time for us to be together and to practice the law of love. Loving yourself in the first place, however shape, form you are now, knowing that you have the ability and you are already working on your inner transformation. So then we can love our neighbors, which is a humanity. So I want to say thank you so much. I want to express my love to you today for listening, for being open your heart and your mind and your soul, and accepting the beautiful words that I wanted to share with you today. So thank you so much.
Wow, that was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Dri. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
for just showering us with so much love and inspiring us. You know that while you were saying, a couple of things resonated with me. A lot of things resonated with me, but I think that two were like the most important ones. Is first is I think it when you were talking and you approached this twice at least when you were talking about give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and also about loving our criminals. I mean, it's easy for us to love someone that is nice, right? Who doesn't love someone that is always smiling, that is like fraternal and all the things. It is really hard to love someone
Did she freeze?
Yes,
Okay.
I'll text her.
Yeah. But anyway, while we're waiting for her to come back, I thought it was beautiful. But I also want to add this little tidbit why I think God is so amazing, and the love and the mercy that he shares upon all of us. And that and it reminded me of when you were reading, like when you were in that attorney's office and you were reading about the criminals, and then you started talking about forgiving them. And I thought about it, and I said, who's to say who our children are? We constantly got to forgive them as they grow. They do the most outrageous things. You'll see. And because we love them, it makes it easier. But who's to say who they are? They could have been a criminal in a past life, and we're learning even more how to forgive a criminal or how to forgive anyone who's caused such offense to us. And the amazing part about it is we don't have the consciousness. But when you do have the consciousness, you're not going to take that love back. You can't. He's like, oh, I love this kid. He was mine, or she is mine. It's just amazing work. It's amazing. God is amazing. And the opportunity we have is amazing. Thank you for this, because it put it all in bigger light, So awesome. Anyone else have any? There she goes. Welcome back, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that you just touched what I was saying, Gina. I think that it is really hard for us to love someone when this person is in need. And I remember I read this. My internet's really bad, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe it's not a good moment for me to talk.
Anyone else have thoughts?
Yeah, I had something. I think Al, yours is coming through.
Kiki, can you mute? Mute Al. Let's see. Yeah, let's see if that works.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that was it. I'm just going to reiterate what they were saying. I think there's a lot of wisdom to have love your neighbor, and then a few sections later talk about being charitable to our so-called criminals. Because I find it interesting is if we are to love others as we love ourselves, we should be reflective on how far we let our love expand. Because as Regina was saying, if it's family members or those close to us, it's easy. As soon as it radiates out to a point, our society reflects that those who are in need, we punish. We decide not to help. And I can't remember which one it was, the charity and the spirits book. It says we return good for evil, but we don't. We don't with them. We push them away, and really those are who need our help the most. And they're crying out for our help. And what we do, we turn around and give them the opposite. We don't give them our time. We punish them and we make money off them. And it's really sad to see. And hopefully someday as we progress as a society, we will be able to reach out to those better. But thank you. Wonderful presentation.
Yeah, Robbie, that does make it harder for them to open up, and to believe people that really honestly want to forgive them, My hat's off to those ladies who've done that, because that's good work.
I do have a lot of stuff going through my mind. I mean, your presentation, Adriana, brought me a lot of thoughts for reflection. And the one that caught me the most was just that the first slide of yours that talks about love your Lord, right? Love God above everything. And it helps me even after years and years of study. I had another insight about that moment because in those three aspects of that love is to love with all your heart. And it brought me to the dimension of matter, of the material part of us. It is important to understand what matter is. For example, when Jesus comes to a poor person or a sick person and hugs that person, he has full knowledge that nothing that is in that body that in our perspective might be infectious, might be dirty, might be something repulsive. But if you have that understanding, it doesn't matter because it's not going to attach to you. So to love with all your heart, to me, brings me to that understanding that it is important for us to understand what's involved with the matters, with the elements of the universe, and to understand it. The second one, with your soul, right? That our spirit has to understand these dynamics that universal. So that's what the spiritism comes in and give us so much knowledge in those areas that we can love with that intensity, that we understand the spiritual relations that we have with not between us humans, but with all the beings in the universe. And the other one is with all your mind. With your mind is for you to have that clarity in your mind that, hey, there's a greatest purpose. That's what it takes. Is for us to use our intellectual ability to really understand in all. And then he closes with that in those three aspects, the whole law is resumed into those. then I could see it. I had a flash in my mind that, oh my good, after so many years of studying all that, boom, now I get it. I appreciate that opportunity. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was very beautiful, very inspiring, Dri. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And
You know,
we thank you. And may all of us keep these teachings in mind, reflect upon it throughout the week, and absorb that as a life lesson, right? Thank you. Thank you so very much. All right, guys, we're gonna take a 3 minutes break and to resume. So it's 11:10 Pacific time, 11:13 we will resume. So 3 minutes. Thank you, Dri, thank you.
I'm gonna get my water.
Yeah, everybody, don't forget to get your water and write down the names of those who wish to bring for vibration.